Kathy, thanks for coming. We're going to start here very soon. Man, there's so many things I forgot to do. Welcome, Martha. Welcome, Susina. Welcome. All right, we're getting close. If you're watching the recording, you might just skip ahead 3 or 4 minutes. Or not. You're free. I'm not trying to tell you what to do, okay? Just relax. It's fine. Skip ahead, don't. I don't care. Why is it so serious? Jeez. Oh my goodness. Oh, you know what I feel so thankful for? Let me tell you, house cleaners, people who clean houses. I've got this sweet little old Portuguese woman who came and cleaned my house today, and I'm a happy boy. Can't tell you how much that means to me because I really don't want to do it. And I think it's so awesome that there's the opportunity to find somebody else who does want to do it, and I can pay them, and they're super stoked. They're super stoked to get paid and to clean my house. Isn't that just incredible? Man. So my house is clean. I'm feeling fresh. It actually smells good in here, which is nice. Okay, we ready to go? I'm feeling so. We just got to jump into these things. It's like taking a cold shower. You might not feel like you're ready. Might be a little bit nervous, but you just got to do it. Just get in there. And then once it's happening, once you start breathing, you realize everything's okay. And this isn't nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. All right, my friends, welcome to the program. We are doing episode 38, the second live broadcast for today. My name is Tiger Singleton, and I help people see beyond the nonsense of the mind so that they can live a life that is more grounded, focused, and playful. I'm just being silly. But no, that's kind of what I do. That seems appropriate. This show, Holding Space for Love to Be Seen, is about an hour-long broadcast where I'm going to speak to a particular topic and share some insight and wisdom from my own experience, really just talking to myself. And you get to listen in, whether you're watching live with folks all around the world or you're watching all by yourself. It's still like you're here, right? Doesn't it kind of feel like it's live if you're watching the recording? I imagine a little bit. Maybe it's not as cool, but it's still cool. There's still a degree of cool. Anyway, welcome to the show. We're going to start, as we always do, with 2 minutes of stillness. This is something that's super unique to this program, where we take 2 minutes and I don't say anything and we just sit here. And this is really for myself and those watching live, just to allow us to enter into this space, bring some presence, and just understand that it's okay if nothing's said. It can still be a sacred space. It can be complete in itself, because we're not here to get somewhere. We're just here to hang out. And then in the hanging out, in the space that's held, I have a pretty good feeling that some more love is going to be seen. Because that tends to be what happens on this program. Because after the stillness, after I feel all calm, cool, and collected, I'll talk about the topic today. And it's going to be amazeballs. Like 1000% amazeballs. If you're into deep, profound shit that makes you say, oh my God, that's amazing. This is what it's going to be like. I hope I'm not hyping it up too much. But so far, it's been amazing. Then after I run my mouth for 30, 40 minutes, there's some Q&R, questions and reflections. It's where people live can type in their questions and I can speak to it. Not that I'm giving answers, because I'm not. It's Q&R, questions and reflections. The reflection is I share what I see. If it's relevant for you, I don't know. You're free to see what you see. You've got the answer inside of you. So relax, okay? I'm not here to tell you what to do or tell you how to see. And then after the questions and reflections, we do a very short and sweet, quiet meditation. It's guided. So I'm going to talk a little bit, inviting us to assimilate all of the profound wisdom and insight, to invite it into our heart space. My goodness. And then you can continue on in your day in a spirit of love and play. It's fantastic. So maybe we start with the 2 minutes of silence. Does that sound appropriate? Okay. Let's do that. I meant 2 minutes of stillness, but you get the point. Isn't that nice? My goodness. And I had a fantastic idea, and I'll tell you about it. I was thinking on this show, it would be cool to feature a song by some of my singer-songwriter friends because they write and sing beautiful music. And it would be cool to have a part where I play a song of theirs. That would be cool. I think I'm going to look into that. Yeah, it's possible. Okay, so the topic today is called I'm Invisible, No One Sees Me. Now, just that statement can make you a little bit depressed, or it can inspire some enthusiasm. For me, it's enthusiasm. But yes, there was a time, if I had heard this and saw that it was true, it could have been depressing. But let me tell you why it would be depressing. Because you want to be seen. Right? Could you imagine? Like, you want to be seen, and then you find out, wait, no one can see me? That can be sad. But then there's a whole nother world that opens up when you realize that people can't really see you. Which means you can stop trying to get people to see you. You can stop caring about how people see you. And you can enjoy your life. How about that? Because, I mean, let's just think about it, right? And again, playfully, how much do we not enjoy ourselves because we're worried about what other people will think? We're worried about the onlooker, right? Say you're just walking down the street and you have this little moment of inspiration that says, I kind of want to just skip. I want to skip down the street. But then you realize, oh, wait, other people can see me. Nope, can't do that. I can't play because everyone else looks serious. And so I've got to pretend to be serious too, even though I really just want to play. But wait, what do I mean? Other people can't see me. That sounds weird. Is that crazy? I can understand that. It sounds insane to suggest the possibility that I'm invisible and no one can see me. But yet, in a very profound way, it's true. And I'm going to get into it, okay? So chill. It's coming. What does this mean? No one sees me. You know what? Well, let's just do a little experiment. Here we are. You're looking at me. If you're watching the video anyway. And there's people all around the world looking at their little screens, looking at this character of Tiger. Now, what do you see? Do you see me? Or do you see how you see? And furthermore, you see something and another person sees something else. And if you're racist, then this is super uncomfortable for you. What do you see? You see how you see. You see, you create a character in your mind called Tiger, and you see that character. Everybody else creates a character for Tiger that's different from the character that you see. In the same way that when I talk about all this insight and wisdom, when I run my mouth, everyone hears something different. And oh my goodness, this is so obvious, especially when you write a lot like I do and post it all over the internet. People comment on it, and it's quite obvious People just don't hear what I'm saying. Right? Everybody hears something different. And so, in a very real way, no one hears me. Everyone hears their own interpretation. And just like looking at me, everyone sees through their own filter, which is a filter that shows you how you see, right? Like, playfully speaking, in the example of someone who is what you would traditionally call a racist. Do they see me or do they see their racism? Right? And how absurd would it be for me to think that they see me in their racism? That would be ridiculous. Well, it's like, clearly you don't see me. Clearly you got a filter going on there and you're confusing me for your filter. And I'm not your filter. But you're free to have a filter of racism. Not to say you shouldn't, because you're free. You clearly can. You're allowed. But I would just ask, how's it going? How's that going? Having a racism filter where you think other people are less than. That's got to be a tough filter. Isn't this interesting? Because as you be yourself, as you allow for authenticity to flow, sincerity, everyone is going to see something different. And whatever they see is perfect for them to see because it's a reflection. They get to see where their own hangups are. So like if you're walking down the street and you want to start dancing, if somebody sees an idiot who's not being serious and they should be, then what they're kind of seeing is their own resistance to play. Right? Secretly, they're saying, I wish I could dance, but it's not appropriate. This is serious. Another great example of this that I speak about a lot, but it's always on point. If you're a painter and you paint a picture, no one sees your painting. Nobody sees your painting. Okay? Everyone paints their own painting of your painting. And so if they like the painting, they like their own painting of your painting. If they don't like your painting, they're not liking your painting. They're not liking their painting of your painting. And furthermore, whatever they think about the painting says absolutely nothing about the painter at all. You know what's kind of beautifully and adorably insane? Now, this is said in the most lovely and compassionate way possible. If I paint a picture and somebody says, wow, that's amazing. And I think they're talking about me. Nope. They're just sharing what they see. And that's beautiful. It's like, I'm thrilled that you get to experience amazement. That's awesome. But I'm not going to confuse it as if it's some sort of determinate statement about my worth and value. Because if I do that, and then someone says they don't like the painting, I'll think that's about me too. And then here comes the constant back and forth. Clinging to this, running from that, chasing compliments, running from insults, thinking they're about you. They're not. You know, it's so profound to see that everyone just experiences the one I am. That sounds confusing. Maybe you get it. Everyone experiences the one that they are. You don't experience anything outside of the one I am. Gosh, this is amazing. When you're hearing me, you're hearing your own hearing. When you see me, you're seeing your own seeing. When you taste something, you're tasting your own tasting. How often do we see something and we think we're seeing something than our own seeing? We think that we're seeing something other than our own creation of what we're seeing, right? Like in the example of a racist. The racist thinks they're seeing something out there. No, they're seeing their own creation of racism, which has absolutely nothing to do with the reality of what they're seeing. And this creates such a whirlwind of drama when you think that other people see you. You know what this is a great pointer towards? Hold on, let me hydrate. This is going to be big. There's something amazing within the human being, within every human being, from my perspective. There's a little voice inside that says, I want to be seen. You agree? You got that voice? Something inside that says, I want to be seen? In some way or another. Maybe it's I want to be approved of. I want to be liked. I want to be valued. I want to be respected. I want to be seen. Now, there's a fundamental confusion here where you don't realize who you're actually talking to. You think you're talking to other people. You think you're talking to the world. But actually, you're talking to yourself. Essentially, what that translates into is, I want to see what I am. I want to see what I am. And if that isn't understood, and you think it's, I want to be seen by others, then you will play the impossible game of trying to get other people to see you, which presents an amazing and profound dilemma. Which is just a disaster. And see if you can roll with me on this. How do we want to approach this? Let's look at it this way. And again, you're free. So if this example speaks to you, no worries. Say somebody says, I want to be famous. Do you see how in a way they're saying, I want to be seen? Now, what happens is this person says, man, if only 1,000 people saw me. If only 1,000 people liked me. Then I could be whole and complete. Right? You see that fantasy? It's like, oh, gosh, if only. If only more people saw how awesome I was, then I could truly feel awesome. And so we go on a quest to collect 1,000 fans. And then let's say you find yourself 1,000 fans. You know what happens next? You say, I think I meant 2000 because this doesn't seem to be much at all. Yeah, it must be 2000. And so I got to that place and I realized it's not what I thought. So it must be more. And can you see where this story goes? And if you've experienced any degree of fame, you've seen this. You've seen eventually that it matters not if people think you're awesome. It matters not if people like what you do as it relates to you feeling whole and complete. Because there's always the concern about, well, what about these other people? Right? There's something in us that intrinsically knows that our worth and value can't be defined by the world or in the minds of other people. It's a nice idea, and sure, maybe it's sweet, and that's all fine. But the question here is, what's really true? And the disaster that I'm pointing to here is you're receiving your worth and value from an external source. Okay, so get this, because this is trippy. Let's say there's a craving in me to feel worthy. And I feel like that's really important. And I'm looking for other people to tell me I'm worthy. And so I encounter another person who says I'm worthy. So, I got the prize. I got it. What happens next? I'm afraid they won't feel that way tomorrow. Right? Because at some other moment from now, which means it exists in the realm of the unknown, and if you got the prize, the one thing you've been chasing, you're now terrified of losing it. What happens in your terror of losing it? You have to strategize on how can I make sure this person keeps liking me, keep approving me. How do we do that? How do we make sure they keep liking you? I'll tell you. You have to keep being who you think they want you to be, which means you cannot be yourself. Ta-da! Do you see this? If you get the prize from an external source, you now have to exhibit some sort of force or control to make sure you don't lose that something that you got, which you don't actually have to begin with. And the only way to exert that force and control is over yourself, which says, self, you can't be you, because if you be you, they might not like it. So you have to be what you think they want you to be. And people fall into this trap all the time and become further disconnected from their own authenticity, where they spend an entire lifetime being who they think the world wants them to be, being who they think their parents want them to be, being who they think their partner wants them to be, out of an absolute terror of losing an imaginary validation, which isn't even validating what you really are. It's validating you pretending to be something that you're not, so that you can get the imaginary approval of the world. That's insane. And it's not fun. My goodness. Furthermore, the disaster continues. The disaster continues in the way that the voice within says, I want to be seen, and you're really talking to yourself. I want to see what I am, which is also like saying, I want to be authentic, which is also like saying, I want to be sincere, which is also like saying, I want to discover the truth of what I am. I want to go inward and discover something beautiful about this thing that I am. Like a flower, I want to look on the inside and then bloom and open up. You can't do both. You can't want the approval of others and be yourself, which means you can't want other people to see you and you see you. Please see this. It's impossible. Because if I want other people to see me, then I'm strategizing on being what I think they want me to be, rather than seeing what I am and letting them see whatever they see. You know what? Coming back to the racism example, because it's hilarious. If I want the racists to not be racist, I'm bound as their prisoner. Rather than just letting them see whatever they want to see, and me being me anyway, because I know that they don't see me. It's like letting them deal with their own issue. It's like, I don't need to fix your issue, man. If that's working for you, great. But I imagine that it's not. It's a massive withholding of love. That's gotta suck. There's such a tension that arises when we're so concerned with what other people see, as if they could even see you. It's like you can't just relax because you got to get them to see something different because you want to be seen a certain way, as if you could really be seen. It turns into a life that exists only in the mind. A life of thinking, and thinking. How much mental energy is extended thinking about what other people are thinking? My God. How much of that creative energy could be used elsewhere? Doing what you love to do. Exploring your own inner world. Enjoying life. Because again, when you're thinking about other people's thinking, you're most likely in a fear-based state. And when you're in a fear-based state, good luck being creative. Good luck enjoying life. Because the fear-based state says it's not okay to enjoy life right now. Shit's serious. We got to figure this out. And then once everyone likes me, then I can enjoy myself. How's that going? Jesus. Relax. We're literally trying to do something that's impossible. To be seen by others. And look, I get it. In a very human way, it's nice. Right? It's nice, all the messages I receive from people who say they understand what I'm saying, who say they see me. It's very sweet. But I'll tell you one thing, I'm not going to get hung up on it. I'm not going to think that they actually see me because they don't. But I'm super thrilled that they're enjoying their experience. And likewise, for the few messages I get where it's quite clear people really don't get me, they're free to see that. It's like, I still love you. Right? Even if you wildly misinterpret what I'm saying and you get offended, I still love you because I know that you're not offended by what I'm saying. You're offended by what you think I'm saying. And the only thing I'm saying is I love you. The only thing I'm saying is I love you and you're free. That's it. There's no harm in that. Now, can you misunderstand that? Absolutely. Can you see it through a filter that wildly distorts what I'm saying? Absolutely. And it's important for you to see that. It's important for the racist to be a racist so the racist can see their racism. That's important. Because to see that is to encounter a doorway for more love to be seen, right? It's like you're encountering your own limitation, which is going to be very problematic because it's in opposition to reality. And so I'm going to extend a freedom for you to have that difficulty so that you can see through it when you're ready to see through it. I don't need you to hurry up. I don't need you to get over it. I can just love you. My goodness. So I'm invisible. No one sees me. And you know what? It's such a great illustration of what's happening right now. Me doing what I do with the foundation that no one hears me, no one sees me. And if that's the case, what's the result? I just get to play. I just get to play. Which is also like saying, I get to just be sincere. I get to speak honestly. I get to speak freely. I get to speak lovingly and let you hear whatever you hear. Because again, I'm doing this for the sake of my own enjoyment. This is my favorite thing to do, is to unwrap the gift of presence and see what exists beyond all the mind's noise. And even though it sounds like I'm talking to you, I'm talking to myself. So that I can see more and more deeply just how free I am, just how free everyone is. And I can just say, my God, I love you. This is amazing. Super grateful to be alive. And in an odd way, it adds value. And then in an even odder way, my bills get paid. That's amazing. By playing. By being myself. That's weird. I wish they told me that was an option when I was in school. Hey, you can just be yourself and love on people and you'll get paid. Is that real? I guess so. I want to do that. I want to figure out what I'm fascinated by, what I enjoy, what I'm passionate about. And I just want to spend my day exploring that. I want to write about it. I want to talk about it. I want to share it. And then somehow let my bills get magically paid. Sounds good. Anyway. Now, in contrast, I mean, let's take the example of a kid who really wants their parents' approval, right? I want my parents to see me. I want my parents to validate me. So what am I going to do? I'm going to pick a career that I think my parents will approve of. That's gross. Come on now. That's silly. No, you're here to explore what you're interested in. You're alive to be alive. You're not alive to get somebody else's approval. Right? Say you pick a career that you have no interest in, but mom and dad will approve. Who are they approving of? You? Or this person you're pretending to be? Is that the kind of approval you want? to be approved of your pretend version of yourself? The version of yourself that denies yourself? You want that to be approved of by others? Come on now. That's not true. There's just a misunderstanding. A misunderstanding of the voice within that wants to be seen, and you think it's, I want to be seen by my parents. No, you're talking to yourself. You want to see you. So whether it's your parents or your partner, your boss or whatever, the voice that says, I want to be seen, isn't about all that. Such a burden to let go of. My goodness. Okay. I think I'm done running my mouth. That was a good 30 minutes. What's next? Q&R. Questions and reflections. Let's see if there's any questions in the live audience. Alan says, your talk today was wonderful, but unfortunately, I think it's unapplicable unless you attained freedom. From my glimpses, what you say makes total sense in the most beautiful way, but since I'm still on the hard something of ego, I can't help but enter in that terror state and watch myself think and do the most unhealthy stuff out of pure fear of rejection, and be as kind of myself as possible. That's a fantastic start, my friend. To be aware of that. To be aware of the pure terror of letting go of what other people think, which kind of tells you it's really important to see through this. Right? Now look at this. Let's just be honest. You're saying, wow, what you're saying makes total sense. There's so much freedom there. There's so much love there. There's so much truth there. But I'm scared because of what other people will think. So, and again, in the most super compassionate way, I am going to put the image of myself in other people's minds as more important than the love I crave. Now, again, I'm not suggesting you should or shouldn't anything, but let's just be aware of this. And say, holy shit. Now, you don't move through the fear by condemning the fear. You don't move through it by judging it. You move through it by understanding it. And this is part of the understanding. Holy shit. There's so much love within what I am that truly wants to play and add value to people's lives. But I think it matters what people think about me. And I also see that it doesn't matter. I see that I think it matters. And I see that I've thought that my whole life. And it hasn't served me one bit. Holy shit. I'm faced with an opportunity here. And you know what? The opportunity isn't when the fear goes away, which is what most people are waiting for. The opportunity is to take a step. even if it's a small step. Because let me tell you, even though I talk about all these things, again, I'm talking to myself, which means I'm saying things that I also need to hear, because there are still areas where I can share more love, where I can let go more and more of thinking other people can see me. And so it isn't you arrive to a place of freedom and then there's no more issue. It's that you see a little bit and you take a little step. You test the boundaries of that fear, right? Something in you recognizing in the moment, oh, this is happening right now. There's a sincerity within me that wants to explore this. There's a sincerity within me that wants to play. And I see that I'm not letting myself play because I think this other person's thoughts can touch what I am. I see that. Am I willing to take a little step? You know what this is like? It's like being honest. Right? We say, I don't know if I can be honest because the other person might not like me. So I'm going to withhold the sincerity of my own heart. I'm not going to be honest with myself because this other person might not like my painting. Right? I'm not going to let myself paint because they might not like it. And so I'm going to deny the sincerity of what I am, which is ultimately going to hurt. When really something inside says, I wish I could just be honest. Here's the thing, you can be. Because all the imaginary monsters that you have about what other people are going to think, it's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. Just like in me doing these videos and doing the work that I do. What people think about it has absolutely nothing to do with me. And so here's a great extension of love. Please hear this. This is so much love to give. Let people not like you. Wanting people to like you is trying to control them. That's not love. The best service you could give to the world is to be yourself, which is to let go of them. By you not being you and being what you think other people want you to be, is you trying to manipulate other people into liking you. Is that who you want to be? We went there. It's happening. We got to look at this side of the coin. Because maybe you think you're doing the good thing by not disturbing other people, but really you're just trying to manipulate people into liking you, trying to control them. Is that love? Or is love to extend to them a freedom to see what they see? It's a big one. How violent is that? To not let other people see what they see. How violent is that towards others, and how violent is that towards yourself? To not let yourself be yourself. To not let yourself be honest when it's the one thing you want most. My goodness. In the title, it did say deep truth, maybe a tough truth, but it's important to see that. We come up with all sorts of crafty bullshit excuses about why we can't be ourselves. And it's all nonsense. It's the greatest gift you could give is to be yourself. It's what the world is asking for. The truth. Yeah, they're scared. Let them be scared. Let them face that fear so that they can walk through it. Firefly says everything makes sense intellectually, but how do you get to that point of letting go in reality? There's 1,000 different paths, my dear. It's not a how question. How is the wrong question. A more accurate question is why. Right? It's like asking an alcoholic, how do you quit drinking? There's 1,001 ways. It's all irrelevant if you don't have a why. If you have a why, then all the different paths are still irrelevant. If the why is there, it'll get done. You need to see why this is important. You need to get profoundly honest with yourself about the love you're denying yourself. And effectively, playfully, not really, but yeah, wasting your life. And then blaming it on the world. Hiding from the truth that you deny it to yourself. Wake up. You know what? Every great shift comes through facing your fear, right? People are waiting around for a shift without facing the fear. They're waiting for the fear to go away. It doesn't work that way. You recognize that it's important regardless of the fear, right? Like being honest. You get to that point where it's like, holy shit, if I don't be honest, I'm gonna freak out. I have to be honest, right? It's gotten to that point where I just have to. And yes, I'm terrified. But if I don't, I'm gonna die. If I don't let the truth of what I am be the truth of what I am, my soul is gonna wither away and die. That's a pretty good why. And so even though I'm scared, I have to be honest. And what do we do when we keep hiding from this honesty? We numb ourselves, right? We intoxicate ourselves. We search for distractions. Why? Because we really want to be honest and we're hiding from it. We're living a life that it isn't even the sincerity of our life. We're pretending to be something that we're not. Come on, wake up. Do you realize how incredibly temporary this life is? Do you realize that you've been given an opportunity to be alive? This is fucking amazing. You're alive. No one even knows how this is happening. And it's happening. And it's temporary. Drop all your fantasies about what you hope happens after you die. It's irrelevant. You're alive now. Be alive now. Question. I can be confused here about what you're referring to, how you are wanting to be seen. Is it not always how people perceive whatever is being said through their own perception? I get it that truth may be revealed, but it is everyone's truth at the same time. Well, I have no clue what you're saying. My apologies. Is it not always how people perceive whatever is being said through their own perception? Yeah, I'm sorry. And it's not let me see your name here either. And I'm assuming maybe you showed up a little bit late. We'll see. But rewatch this. And if you didn't find your answer, reach out to me and help me understand your question more. And I'll see if I can clarify. Okay, folks. Let's do a guided meditation. How about that? All right. Ready, set, go. Welcome to this moment. You want to hang out with me here for just a little bit? If so, can we be radically honest about something? Can we be honest about the ways we deny our own hearts because we fear what other people might think? Not in a judgmental way, of course. But just as an opportunity to let some light in. Maybe there's a burden. Maybe there's a knot in your stomach. Something within that says, I wish I could just be honest. I wish I could just be myself. And in the most innocent and adorable way, there's a fear that says no because of what others might think. That's okay. Welcome to being human. However, I do invite us to recognize the insanity of this. That we would deny ourselves of ourselves because of the thoughts that might pass through somebody else's mind. Thoughts that actually have nothing to do with you. When will it be time to give other people back to other people so that you can give yourself back to yourself? To let people think whatever they think so that you can come home to you. Can we breathe into that for just a little bit? We don't have to think about it. We can just see it. We can acknowledge the truth of it and invite a relaxation through a gentle breath in the embrace of right now. Just breathe. I understand that you might be scared. I understand that it might seem really, really hard. And that's okay. But can we also see that it's really, really important? Can you tell me what's more important than allowing yourself to breathe? Allowing yourself to be honest with yourself? Allowing you to be you? Let the world think what the world thinks. You don't need their approval. See that you're already enough as you are. And see that you've been given this one life to come here and play, to go on a grand adventure of discovering yourself, discovering life, to discover something beautiful on the inside of what you are, and then share it with the world. Not so that the world likes you, but because it's the most beautiful thing you could do. Discover love, and then give love away. Thank you for meditating with me today. All right, that's our hour. Does anybody want to put some money in the meter? That's a call for donation time. Woo, woo, woo. If you receive value from this broadcast, we invite you to contribute to the show so that we can continue spreading a message of love, compassion, and freedom all around the world. Even if you don't donate, we're still going to do it. But you're invited to join the fun and contribute and to get an energetic vote of yes to this kind of content into the world. And your support helps us do just that. So thank you. Okay, I've got 2 more live streams scheduled for next week. Same Tuesday, same time. Other than that, join the free community. Dive in. Thank you for all the donations I see coming in. Super appreciated. Anything else? I think that's it. Okay. Till next time. Bye.